Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews today. You've just heard Kamala Harris, who is Vice President of the U.S., deliver a public lecture at the Black Star Square. The Vice President said we must invest in African creativity and help grow our economy. Speaking at the public lecture, Kamala Harris reiterated the U.S. commitment to helping accelerate the existing innovation and entrepreneurship in Africa, applauding African nations for pioneering in delivery of health supplies by drones. She emphasized the importance of science, technology, agriculture, and clean energy in developing the world. Let's cross over to the Black Star Square and speak with my colleague, Blessed Sogan, who's been monitoring events for us. Blessed, what more can you report from the Black Star Square? Hello, Blessed. Hello, Soga. All right, we're trying to get Blessed Soga, who is currently at the Black Star Square. He will be getting reactions after Kamala Harris, who is U.S. Vice President, had delivered a public lecture, and she has been emphasizing the need to invest in Africa and also invest in existing innovation and entrepreneurship, which she commits. She says the U.S. is committed in doing. She's also applauded African nations for pioneering and delivery of health supplies through drones, and she's also emphasizing the importance of science, technology, agriculture, clean energy in developing the world. Let's see if we have Blessed Sogan. Blessed, if you can hear me, what has been the reaction after this lecture? All right, so you can see on your screens visuals from the Black Star Square. That's where the Vice President of the U.S. Delivered a public lecture. She's just finished with that lecture. We're trying to get Blessed Soga, who's been pitching camp there for us, to tell us more on how people are reacting to this powerful lecture. But if you heard Kamala Harris, she also described the fates of Americans and Ghanaians as interconnected because of our intertwined history, she says. And she's been applauding African nations for pioneering the delivery of health supplies by drones. And she's been urging other parts of the world to support Africa to grow. She says the U.S. is ready to help accelerate the innovation and entrepreneurship of Africa, which is, she admits, is already existing. She says they're ready to support it to grow. So we'll be trying to go back to the Black Star Square and speak with Blessed Soga. He's been pitching camp there for us, but let's move on to the NDC headquarters, because former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffuor is currently before the Elections Vetting Committee of the NDC. He is the second to be vetted for the flag bearer position of the party after former President John Mahama had his turn yesterday. My colleague Samuel Mbura is at the headquarters. He joins us with more. Samuel Mbura, what is the case for Dr. Kwabena Duffuor? Because we know yesterday Mr. Mahama came with a handful of supporters following him to do that. What can you report for Dr. Kwabena Duffuor? Right, at the headquarters, at the NDC headquarters, we can listen to Fritz Bafo, who is in the team of Kwabena Duffuor, addressing the media.
Yeah, so we came with a lot of people and we had fun.
What are some of the issues that we're asking? What are some of the
About his intentions and the plans he had for the country and the party. They also interrogated his CV, and he was up to scratch with it.
How long did the vetting people, you know he was here by 10, but how long did it take?
Oh, about 1.5 hours. You've got very, very, very intelligent people on the committee, very forceful people on the committee, and they wanted clarity. And that clarity was given to Dr. Dufour this morning, or right up to this afternoon.
So you are sure that your candidate will be cleared by the committee?
Pardon?
Are you sure he will be cleared by the committee?
Oh, definitely.
So can you share with us some of the specific issues?
I don't think I'm at liberty to do that, because that is why it was held in camera. I think that as we go along, some of those things will be revealed.
Were issues of his, capability of managing the country? Because
yeah.
the party thinks of getting someone, or earlier you made a comment that the party needed someone with an economics or finance background to salvage the economy.
Yes.
These issues come up.
Of course, naturally. I said they interrogated and asked questions about his intentions and his plans for the country. All right. And I can actually reveal that they asked him whether he believed in the long term and medium, and he answered in the positive.
And what is the official position of your camp?
Yes.
What happened, or regarding what happened in Parliament?
We don't have an official position. I am a former member of Parliament. I know that some conventions exist, but I am very upset at the fact that MPs are being vilified without people interrogating as to what happened and what really happened. You understand? There are many issues to be discussed and many issues to be asked. So it would be premature for me to make any statement on that and to say that we have an official position. We don't have an official position.
Is there a worry that just a day or so after the incident in Parliament,
Yeah.
we are seeing names of MPs who purportedly did not...
Well, it's perception. I don't think there's any proof, and I don't think I'll lend myself to that kind of comment.
What are you expecting the party to do now?
I don't think that I'm the right person to ask those kind of questions.
Should be concerned about.
Of course they are concerned. They are concerned, but the thing is that we have to sit down and discuss. We believe very much in consensus, and we believe very much in promoting the unity of the party as a strong, united organization. Thank you very much.
So there you have it at the NDC headquarters. Dr. Kwabena Dufour has just faced the vetting committee. You heard from his team, Fritz Bafo, explaining that he was questioned by a team of competent vetting committee members, and he responded to the questions appropriately. Away from the NDC headquarters, production and water quality manager of the Upper West Region Office of the Ghana Water Company, Cletus Deaku, has expressed worry over the increasing level of pollution in the Black Volta, which he says is negatively impacting on the operations of Jambusuwa Water Plant. He says since the commissioning of the project in 2017, the activities of illegal miners and loggers, farming and fishing activities have affected the quality of the water. JoyNews' Upper West Region correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
As part of the celebration of World Water Day, selected students drawn from 4 second cycle institutions, namely St. Francis Xavier Minor Seminary, Wa Senior High, Wa Senior High Technical, and Wa Islamic Girls Senior High Schools, had a tour of the Jambuso Water Production Plant in the Wawaz district of the Upper West Region. The aim of the tour is for the selected students to learn and acquaint themselves with the various production stages of the water from the Black Volta to Wa and its surrounding communities. The 3.3 million gallons water project was commissioned in 2017 at a cost of $55 million United States dollars. The students were accompanied on the tour by officials from the Water Resources Commission, Ghana Water Company Limited, and the Community Water and Sanitation Agency. Production and Water Quality Manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Cletus Deaku, expressed worry over the increasing level of pollution on the Black Volta.
2017 up to now, we did analysis. We have realized that the pollution level keep increasing. And that means that it's we, the people of Wa, and those along the river, our activities that is polluting the river. And we have realized that the activities that are most affecting the quality of the water in the river is the illegal mining activities, farming activities, fishing, and other activities that we may not be able to see. Logging is one. Once you clear the environment, now the land cover is removed. So when it rains, the water will run at a speed and therefore wash off the surface water, soil into the water, then increasing the turbidity of the water and also silting the river.
Just some few meters away, our camera captured these suspected illegal miners close to the Black Volta doing their act. Clay noted that once the level of pollution of the water increases, chemicals used in treating the water are also increased, resulting in the high cost of production of water from the plant.
Now they say Ghana Water Company produce clean water, distribute it. That's our mandate. We produce, transmit water to the community at an affordable price. Now if we are polluting the water bodies, our cost of production is increasing. How are we going to make it affordable for the people? That means that the cost of production will be transferred into the community. A time will come, if we don't change our attitude, if we don't accelerate the change that we all want to see, the clean water we all want to have, if we don't institute something, change our behavior, our attitude towards the environment, towards the water bodies, a time will come that the water will not be affordable for all of us as we want it to be.
Basin head at the Black Water Basin, Joaquim Abungba noted that as part of effort to the attainment of SDG 6, which targets water for all by 2030, implore all to advocate, among other things, protection and restoration of ecosystems, since it is the surest ways of safeguarding the existence of water for use today and for prosperity.
With regards to groundwater resources, the major challenge faced is the uncontrolled drilling of boreholes and the use of unlicensed drilling companies in drilling and construction of boreholes, and hence result in a situation where we have some boreholes not having or producing water for people. There is also unwillingness on the part of water users in the basin to register their operations with the Water Resources Commission, which is mandated by law to regulate and manage the country's water resources. Without a proper register for water users in the basin, it will be difficult, if not impossible, to regulate their activities to the effect that it leads to an unsustainable utilization of basin water resources.
APA was regional director of the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, Atukonsa, on his part, expressed concern about burying of loved ones at homes without any proper rising embankment on them.
Most importantly, if you take in our homes, a lot of people bury our loved ones indiscriminately, and we end up not putting any rising embankments on them. Years later, we misplaced the point and we drill boreholes there, and it is one of the major sources of contamination when it comes to the rural areas.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Jamboso.
Two nearby communities without a school lobbied government to cite a school in their territory. One community was more persuasive, and so the school was established in the community because they had a bigger population. Instead of sharing the school facility, however, the community that lost the bid to get a school built on their land decided to boycott the nearby school and rather choose to send their children to another school, which is 2 hours away. Jojo Kobna delves into why the people of Japido and Tadando in the Kwandai district of the northern region intermarry and trade but cannot share a school.
Once upon a time, a community called Japido in the Kwandai district of the northern region welcomed a group of people who later formed another community called Tadando. The two communities lived side by side, traded, intermarried, and related so well together. There was no school in the two communities, so they decided to establish an informal school. They hired the services of a teacher to educate their children. As the number of children grew in both communities, the government decided to establish the school for the two communities. This was some good news. But it was at this point that the communities disagreed. They all wanted the school built on their land.
When the school was about being established here, Japido wanted the school to be in their land because they claim they were here before Tadando settlers came. And when that wasn't done, they refused to bring their children to the school. I think if we meet the community elders, we may get the reasons from the horse's own mouth.
So I went to Tadando to hear their side of the story. Kajo Samuel is a community leader at Tadando.
No, say school I'm ever better than no. Until when I am paying for one dick can have a tana, until more my coin say, or made your mokra there at your bar, etanaha. To decide the moon where then, or mumba. Tinintina won't buy.
The people of Tadando softened their stance and said they wanted a school built in Japido, but based on the large number of children in Tadando, officials of the Ministry of Education decided to set up the school just at the boundary between the two communities.
The director of Panda no Aba have a fire for almost at Sadia. And can first school say Japanese Tadando primary school. Now first school then say film. Until then we say Japanese come person from school say Japido primary school. And yet didn't make say idea. To first school Japido Tadando and the hand school as an area near here. School was Japido. Yet I know for Ebeko.
The people of Japido wanted a school built on their land because they were the first settlers, so they decided to boycott the nearby school and rather enrolled their children over 5 kilometers away. Their children walk over 10 kilometers daily to access school. The children are not happy with the situation, but they have no choice.
My parents told me I'm not going to Tarando, I'm going to Balai, but the time in school here, in school Tarando, the fight, she told me to go to Balai.
Do you want to go to Tarando?
No.
Why?
Because of fight. The 5 o'clock, you wake up and go to Balai. It's too far.
What time do you leave the house?
5 o'clock.
What time did you get to school?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
Yes.
So you are tired?
Yes.
When they born me, my parents said that we should not go there to school. That's why we are not going there.
So why are you not going to the next school?
My father told me that they were fighting, that I couldn't go to dance school.
So I asked the fathers in Japido why they would punish their children by making them walk long distances when they can simply send them to Tadando. What is just 5 minutes walk?
Any balai. Let's almost bread, Well, more bread, and yes. Almost bread, until almost brano. Obi extra was saying, Nania Buya. Also, Ojimino for Ojimino.
Very young children therefore do not attend school because of the long distance. The children stay at home until they are old enough to walk over 10 kilometers to enjoy the right to education.
No, say you're Tadando, Japido, Abobako. Say, Baby, I'm Moses Kuno, Yampesa Kuno in Grao. Ahana ya register sa school. One, no musi. Omo eyen pardon chain. Say yes, na abenso ejet me say nko mo be ye bibia omo fe population say omo say omo chain sa say population omo de yade say omo don so chain te na ampa so omo dos ka kache senior.
One very interesting thing is that when a Japido man meets a Tarando woman and they fall in love and they eventually marry, the end product, the children, if they end up living here in Japido, all the children would have to go to Balai, that is several kilometers away, instead of just a 5 minutes walk to Tadando Primary School. It's very interesting But after engaging them, the people are saying that they will only go to Tadando on one condition.
Ne aban edibe pataye na yenso ya ne aginu nka odi Jesus ba ha na omu be siawe na omu asesi na ya ne ahu say Jesus ebesi japido a yebekọ.
So as it stands now, if the government delays building a school at Japido, the children would have to walk over 10 kilometers to access education. Jojo Kobna, JoyNews.
Let's come back here in Accra and go to the Black Star Square, where the U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris has just delivered a public lecture. She has been applauding African nations for pioneering the delivery of health supplies by drones, whilst emphasizing the importance of science, technology, agriculture, and clean energy in developing the world.
For democracy, an opportunity to learn from each other and strengthen democratic institutions. And I will say, while democracy is always a work in progress, including in my own country, the American people will always stand with those yearning for more freedom. And let us be clear that innovation thrives in a democracy. New ideas thrive where freedoms thrive. Free thinking leads to problem solving. And so I believe, acting together with intention, we can make progress in these three areas: the empowerment of women, digital inclusion, and good governance and democracy. And just let us take a moment to imagine the future. A future where women are not just included, but also lead. Imagine a future where every person is connected to the digital economy, a future where every young person trusts that their voices are heard, a future that is propelled by African innovation. So as we leave here today, let us consider then our shared future. Know the United States will remain a steadfast partner for progress. I am more optimistic than I have ever been about the future and the future of the continent of Africa, and by extension, the world. Not only because of the work we undertake in government, not only because of the investments in the private sector, I am optimistic about the future of the world because of you. The woman who will shatter every glass ceiling, the entrepreneur who will identify the next digital breakthrough, the activist who will fight for the dignity of every human being, students and scientists, athletes and artists, farmers and fishers, and the young innovators who will solve problems that we haven't yet identified with solutions we can't even yet imagine. So all of this to say, you, and in particular the young leaders here,
Kamala Harris is scheduled to visit the Central Region right after this public lecture. My colleague Kojo Nyako joins us live from the Central Region with more from there. Kojo, describe the atmosphere in waiting for the U.S. Vice President. Hello, Kojo Nyako.
Hello, Aisha.
Yes, describe the atmosphere for us as they wait for the arrival of the U.S. Vice President.
Well, so people are highly expectant. So in your shot there is the Mintimazi Palace here in Cape. That is a seat of the Omahine of the Ogba traditional area. So there are two ceremonies that will take place here. One will take place here at the palace, and the other will take place at the Cape Coast Castle. And this is not the first time a high-profile U.S. personality is visiting this place. And a short while ago, we had the regional minister coming here to inspect that everything is in course and security is very, very, very top-notch here. And so that is what people are expecting. It's become a talk of the town. Some roadblocks, some roads have been blocked here in the central region in Cape Coast, to be specific, and people are expected to grace the occasion here.
Which places is she scheduled to visit on arrival?
Well, so the first place she will be visiting is the Emintimazi Palace here, the seat of the Omahine of the Ogba traditional area. And so the stage is set, security arrangements have been put in place and all of that. From here, she will visit the Cape Coast Castle, and that will be a solemn ceremony. She will go through the door of no return, where her ancestors, she believes, were taken through. And so that is, and after that, she will also have some brief remarks here at the Cape Coast Castle. And so that is, I mean, these are the two ceremonies that are likely to take place here in Cape Coast.
Kojo is our correspondent in the central region. He's been following the event for us. We'll definitely bring you more when Kamala Harris arrives in Cape Coast. Now, the ECOWAS Gender Development Center, EGDC, says a rising case of conflict and terrorism is leading to a surge in gender-based violence against women and children in the sub-region. This was revealed at a meeting of gender experts of ECOWAS member states for a validation workshop of the Strategic Plan 2023-2027 of the EDGC in Accra on Monday to help address the challenges. There's more in the following report.
Created in January 2003, ECOWAS Center for Gender Development exists to provide the regional community with a multi-purpose regional agency responsible for the implementation of the ECOWAS gender policy. In a bid to strengthen its work, the EGDC has brought together experts and representatives of civil society organizations to discuss, review, and finalize the draft of the EGDC Strategic Plan for 2023 to 2027. Delivering her welcome address, Director of the ECOWAS Gender Development Center, Ms. Sandra Fator, noted how terrorism is breeding violence against women.
New forms of terrorism and violent extremism involving women and girls, migratory problems arising from internal conflicts and conflicts between countries, increase in gender-based violence, as well as cross-border begging, trafficking of children. All these are problems that hinder the progress of the region towards a just and equitable and prosperous society.
Speaking at the program, Chief Director of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Afisa Zakaria, also outlined some key issues the new policy must focus on addressing.
The elimination of all forms of violence against women and girls, including harmful cultural practices such as child marriage and female genital mutilation. There is also the need to promote gender-sensitive legislation and ensure that perpetrators of gender-based violence are held accountable for their actions. Education is a key driver of economic growth and social development, and a concerted effort is needed to ensure that girls have equal access to education and are not forced to drop out of school due to early marriage or other cultural pressures. Also, the need to promote women's financial and economic inclusion is critical in providing them with the tools and resources they need to succeed in life. Finally, to ensure that women are represented in decision-making positions at all levels of government and civil society, women's voices and perspectives should be an integral part of all planning processes for effective governance and policy making.
Ms. Fatal appealed to participants to lay bare their expertise to ensure a successful engagement.
I am therefore calling on you, ladies and gentlemen, experts, call on your insights to make proposals that are realistic and achievable over the next years so that the results of this strategy workshop will be implemented.
The workshop will end on Thursday, March 30, with a meeting of all gender ministers from the 14 participating countries to validate and adapt a newly formulated working gender policy for the ECOWAS. James Kwasi Aveji's report, read to you.
The Melcom Group of Companies is urging the private sector to reach out and support institutions and vulnerable societies. Director of Communication for the group, Godwin Avenogbo, says such institutions and individuals, when supported, will help develop their potentials. He was speaking at the presentation of some electronic devices to the Department of Medical Services of Ghana Armed Forces. There's more in this report.
The Melcom Group, as part of its CARE initiative, has handed over some electronic devices to the Department of Medical Services of the Ghana Armed Forces for the award of prizes to the graduating students of Batch 3 of the Military Emergency Medical Technicians course of study. The Director of Communications, Godwin Avenogbo, who presented the items on behalf of the group, said they believe the gesture is to show appreciation to the military for their continued services to the state.
Today we are responding positively to a request from the Department of Medical Services of the Ghana Armed Forces for the award of prizes to graduating students of Batch 3 of the Military Emergency Medical Technicians course of study. We hope that graduating officers will be encouraged in the knowledge that we who are in the private sector are well aware of the role of the military in keeping Ghana a safe and secure country to live in, despite the seemingly volatile nature of our sub-region to insurgency year after year. By this token, Melcom Care honors the gallant men and women of the Ghana Armed Forces, past and present, who have and continue to make personal sacrifices to ensure that our safety and sovereignty are secure.
He, however, called on other private entities to also come in to support individuals and institutions in need.
It's teamwork. All the companies in Ghana must come together and do things in various sectors, not just the military or the police or the orphans or whatever it is. All sectors must be covered. We cannot cover all sectors.
Receiving the items on behalf of the department, nursing officer in charge of public health at the 37 Military Hospital, Colonel Mercy Quay, expressed her gratitude to the Melcom Group for the donation.
On behalf of the Director General, Ghana Armed Forces Medical Services, I wish to extend my appreciation to the management of Melcom for this kind gesture. We know this presentation will go a long way to spearhead the interests of both the trainees and those being trained. And we are sure even the next batch, a lot of people will join and they will show their enthusiasm in workings of the Ghana Ambulance Services.
The items, including a digital satellite TV, a standing fan, a rice cooker, and a blender, will be awarded to the overall best student, the best in academics, best in psychomotor skills, and the best female graduate at the graduation ceremony of Batch 3 of the Military Academy Technician course on Thursday. A report by Prince Kwame Kudoga for JoyNews.
We're still live on JoyNews today. Let's take a break. When we return, it's business.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. Ghana and South Africa have committed to deepening trade ties under the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Here's more in this report.
Brand South Africa, in partnership with MTN, organized a business roundtable and dialogue session. The session focused on overcoming market entry and legislative challenges in the wake of the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Speaking at the event, Chief Executive of Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Enyimdake, indicated that the engagement is critical in boosting trade relations between the two countries.
Still very critical. I mean, it gives us the opportunity to harmonize policy, to reduce tariffs. The various economic blocks, SADC, ECOWAS, economic bloc will be harmonized, and then we'll deepen the intent of and the objective of AFTA so that we can trade together. We can deploy our regional economic bloc value chain policies that will aid Ghana and South Africa. What can we do together to conquer Africa and do the intra-trade as the mandate and agenda of AFTA is. It can only get better the more we engage. There'll be a few bottlenecks, but in every big vision, there are processes that you got to perfect each stage. And I think we're on course. It could be slow, but it's a matter of time. We'll get there.
General Manager for Communications at Brand South Africa, Thoko Modesi, said the business roundtable and dialogue session is part of efforts by South Africa to better understand the rest of the continent and help in positioning it on the international market.
One of the things we know we are good at is the fact that we represent the continent on various platforms that other countries may not be. For example, we are a member of BRICS. We're the only African member of the G20. So ours is to carry the voice and the luggage and the people of the continent forward with us, so that if we're going to thrive, we must all thrive as Africans. It can't be that it's about South Africa and South Africa only. And a lot of the multinationals that are established in South Africa, I mean, for example, there's over 800 American companies based in South Africa. A lot of the times they start in South Africa, establish head offices there, then they expand into the continent, which is exactly what we are trying to do. We need to be that space that allows for development and thriving in the continent.
Next, the British Council is creating an alumni of Ghanaian students who studied in the UK. This is to boost networking and create employment opportunities for them. Here's more.
Alumni fora in every university is the key source of employment generation. The UK has been producing the most employable students in the past years. The British Council aims to bring together the large community of Ghanaians who studied in UK universities. Director of Programs and Partnerships at the British Council, Solomon Domanyi, advised students to connect to increase their professional opportunities.
For instance, we have a lot of these former students in UK institutions who are in Canberra in various areas. And we think that if we can have them come together to form a very solid alumni network, they will be able to, among other things, share ideas, share their experiences. They can also be a sort of resource to upcoming graduates who want to go to study but don't know how to go about it.
The universities in the UK have noticed the inflow of many Ghanaian students in the past decade. A lecturer at the Publishing Department, KNUST, Dr. Lucy Rikoto, wants both students and universities to keep track of the success and academic journey of students studying in the UK.
As they have the funds to put it together, but it should not just be talking and where you study, but we should all leave with some new things that we have learned. This is the first, so we expect that the network would be built upon, and then next time when we meet, we'll be sharing deeper things and things that will make our lives improve for the better.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
There's more business news on the marketplace at the top of the hour. Sports is up next.
Muftau Nabil Abdullah here with sports on Joy News today. Head coach of the Black Stars, Chris Hughton, has hailed the performance of the senior national team in their 1-1 stalemate against Angola in the ongoing African Cup of Nations qualifiers for 2023. Ghana drew 1-1 in the second leg after winning the first leg at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium 1-0. He believes the performance of the team showed that they've got enough men to rise to the occasion whenever it matters. President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreko, has urged the Black Meteors to beat Algeria to secure qualification to the next edition of the Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations to be staged in Morocco. Ghana drew 1-1 in the first leg against Algeria on a Friday, and Kurt Okreko wants the boys to end the country's 19 years of waiting to participate in the Olympics.
Let's forget about the result. And let's get ourselves prepared for a fresh game against Algeria. A game that potentially could take us to the main tournament in Morocco, June. So a game that would potentially take us to Morocco and hopefully bring us back on the Olympic platform where we've been missing since the year 2004. That's right. Okay. So what that means is that history beckons all of us. All of us. And the effects of we potentially being at the main tournament will be amazing to each one of you and to our dear country, Ghana. 2004 has been a long year. Long journey. Is it 18, 19 years? And fortunately, the next Olympics will be in my home country, which is Paris. And it's important all of us keep our focus and work towards a slot for the African country and for our dear country. The battle was fought and won here. And the next battle that will take place here must be won by this group.
That game kicks off at 4 p.m. later today at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your company.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Showbiz here on Joy News. Today, our stories this afternoon as part of her visit to Ghana. The Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris, met some selected people from the creative industry here. The meeting, which took place at the Vibrate Studios at East Legon, had in attendance artists like Black Sheriff, Amare, Mensa, Joey B, Rhea Boss, Baba J, and Poitra Santoa. American actress Cheryl Lee Ralph and British actor Idris Elba were also present. In her address, Kamala spoke about the great connection between Ghana and America and appreciated the work produced by Ghanaian creatives. She added the culture and creative industries are influencing the world beyond measure.
For me to be able to come here during this trip on my first full day really is symbolic of the connection that we have as people and as nations. But the creative work that is happening on this continent, as represented by the work that is happening here in Ghana, is extraordinary in terms of the international global impact. Now, this is not a new phenomenon, but it is something with all of the current excitement about the evolution of culture and music and artistry, that is very significant. What is happening here is changing the way people kind of enjoy themselves and think of their expression. There is so much about our ability to receive music that is about receiving universal language. And that is also what you are doing here. You are speaking in a way that around the globe, people hear songs that are rooted in concepts like freedom, individuality, and self-determination. This is the work you each are doing. And so I feel so honored and privileged to be here and to thank you for all of the creative work. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of sacrifice to be an artist. But the work that is happening here is influencing and bringing joy to people around the world. So thank you all. And I brought some of my friends with me. And I would invite them, please, let's start with Shirley, to share a few words as an extraordinary artist about what this means to be here.
Thank you very much. I think I would have to sing it best. You know? I am an endangered species.
Away from that, 9-year-old musician Kalia Nana Kwache, popularly known as Photocopy, has made history as the youngest known artist to have hosted two biggest music shows in a day. The first show, dubbed Photo Fest, and was a mixed bag of activities: horse riding, face painting, and music show. We have more details here.
Some students from the Peculiar International School at Kasua singing Photocopy's song titled Tomorrow. Many other schools like the Spring Gate International School, Crystal Clear Educational Complex arrived in buses before 9 a.m. Kala Nana Kwache performed his songs Jimmy Doe with his father, followed by his hit song School de Bee, which features Shatawali. That song now has more than 1 million views on YouTube. The purpose of Photo Fest is to reiterate the importance of education.
I found myself. I had a lot of fun when I was doing the Top Choco, Pure Delights, a lot. Photo Fest is going to be an annual festival that every year I will do it. If I don't do it Photo Fest, then I've passed that way. I'm going to be doing Photo Fest every March 25th. So education is the key to success, and I want every child to go to school. Even if Monday we have exam, from last week till today, we've had a lot of educational stuff. So our brain is hot. We just have to come here, have fun every annual year. That's March. Come, let's have fun. And don't forget, education is the key to success.
Photocopy's father, Kwache, says Photo Fest has come to stay.
This is our maiden edition, and I came here and I was like, wow, every Photocopy has its age, first time, and you know, he's able to pull the schools and the crowd and everybody here like this. Honestly speaking, we've done well, and we've put a message across. We want them to know education is everything. So that's how come we are trying to brand Photocopy to be that type that always talks about education, motivation, blah, blah, blah. So we are trying not to take his childhood away from him. And we believe next year is going to be dope.
You know who come next? Later in the evening, there was another big concert at Kaswa, also headlined by Photocopy. Artists like Tiny, Wendy Shea, Dope Nation, Jupiter, and more were there to support the school, the Bee Hitmaker.
footprints. No time to play. Hey. Here's some easy walking. Hey, Kashua, everybody sing. So what?
The crowd surged forward as the young star was announced by the MC DKB. Many were shocked about his energy level on stage because he had earlier performed at the Children's Park.
Well, on that note, we end showbiz here on JoyNews today, the small showbiz news in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Becky. Good afternoon to you, Aisha.
Good afternoon, beautiful Becky. Hajia Fati. That's how we wrap up the bulletin this afternoon. Log on to myjoyonline.com for more of the news and update of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.